Hello and welcome to Star Life, the channel where you can find out everything about your favorite celebrities. Today, we dive into one of the most captivating mysteries in the history of cinema and martial arts, the shocking truth revealed by Chuck Norris about the untimely death of his close friend, Bruce Lee. At 84 years old, Chuck Norris, a living legend of martial arts and action star, has broken his silence on an event that continues to fascinate the world more than 50 years after Bruce Lee's tragic passing. Their legendary friendship, iconic collaboration, and the speculations surrounding Lee's death make this story a true journey through time, blending respect, rivalry, and revelations. Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a thrilling ride. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris are two names that resonate like titans in the world of martial arts and action films. Their meeting was no mere coincidence but the starting point of a friendship and collaboration that would leave an indelible mark on history. Let's rewind to the late 1960s, a time when Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris were rising stars, each in their own domain. Bruce Lee, already famous in Hong Kong thanks to revolutionary films like The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, was redefining martial arts with unmatched intensity and charisma. Across the Pacific, Chuck Norris was dominating karate competitions, racking up world championship titles in the United States and internationally. Their fateful encounter took place in 1967 at the All-American Open Karate Championship. Norris emerged victorious, while Lee captivated the audience with an electrifying martial arts demonstration. This moment sparked a deep connection between the two men, united by their passion for combat and their pursuit of excellence. Following this encounter, Lee and Norris began training together, sharing techniques and philosophies. Bruce Lee, always eager to learn, was intrigued by Norris's expertise in high kicks. At the time, Lee adhered to a martial arts philosophy that favored keeping kicks below the waist for stability and efficiency. Norris, with his strategic vision, introduced him to the advantage of targeting higher areas, like the head, to surprise and overpower an opponent. Impressed by this perspective, Lee threw himself into intensive training. In just 6 months, he mastered high kicks with precision and power that rivaled Norris's own. Norris, in turn, was captivated by Lee's revolutionary approach, particularly his Jeet Kune Do, a fluid and adaptable martial art that transcended the boundaries of traditional disciplines. Jeet Kune Do, often described as the way of the intercepting fist, embodies Bruce Lee's visionary spirit. Unlike conventional martial arts, it isn't bound by rigid techniques. Instead, it champions simplicity, directness, and freedom. At its core lies the concept of interception, anticipating and countering an opponent's moves before they fully materialize. This requires heightened awareness, impeccable timing, and rapid adaptability. Practitioners learn to employ a variety of techniques: punches, kicks, elbows, knees, blocks, throws, while cultivating an open and creative mindset. As Bruce Lee famously said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own." This philosophy deeply influenced Chuck Norris, who admired Lee's dedication and vision, strengthening their bond of friendship and mutual respect. It was in this context that Bruce Lee pitched an audacious idea to Chuck Norris. Fresh off the success of his Hong Kong films, Lee wanted to create an unprecedented cinematic fight scene, one that would push the boundaries of the genre. He invited Norris to join him in his project, The Way of the Dragon, released as Return of the Dragon in the US, which hit theaters in 1972. Written and directed by Lee, this martial arts action comedy has become a cult classic. The story follows Tang Lung, a Hong Kong martial artist who travels to Rome to help his friends protect their restaurant from a local crime syndicate. The film's climax is a legendary showdown between Tang Lung, played by Lee, and Colt, a mercenary portrayed by Norris, set in the iconic Colosseum. This duel, widely regarded as one of the most iconic fight scenes in cinema history, showcases the strengths of both fighters, Lee's lightning speed and agility against Norris's formidable power and endurance. Filmed with raw authenticity, the fight features the two men trading full-force blows while displaying mutual respect, symbolized by the salutes exchanged before and after the duel. Lee ultimately triumphs, paying homage to his opponent by draping his jacket over Colt's body in a poignant gesture of respect. The Way of the Dragon was a massive success, grossing over $130 million worldwide on a modest budget of $130,000. In Hong Kong, it became the highest-grossing film of 1972, and upon its U.S. release in 1974, it was the first Hong Kong film to top the American box office. This masterpiece remains a benchmark in martial arts cinema, immortalizing Bruce Lee's genius and his unique collaboration with Chuck Norris. But behind this glory looms a tragedy. Bruce Lee's sudden death in 1973, at the age of 32, shocked the world. Officially attributed to a cerebral edema, his passing sparked countless speculations and theories. Chuck Norris, as a close friend, recently shared troubling details about the circumstances of this death, shedding new light on the mystery. According to Norris, Bruce Lee was grappling with health issues exacerbated by his extreme lifestyle. In 1968, Lee suffered a severe herniated disc during a weightlifting exercise called the Good Morning, which left him hospitalized for 3 weeks with doubts about whether he would walk again. Despite medical advice to prioritize rest, Lee continued to train intensely, pushing his body to its limits. His rapid metabolism drove him to consume massive amounts of protein, supplements like ginseng and royal jelly, and up to 10 liters of water daily to detoxify his system. This relentless pursuit of perfection, combined with a chronic injury, weakened his health. While in Hong Kong preparing for Game of Death, Lee was working with actress Betty Ting Pei, with whom he had a relationship. Suffering from severe headaches, he took a painkiller provided by Ting Pei, unaware that it contained aspirin, to which he was allergic. According to Norris, the combination of this medication, his existing pain treatments, supplements, and excessive water intake triggered a fatal reaction, leading to a cerebral edema. However, other theories persist. Biographer Matthew Polly, in his book Bruce Lee, A Life, proposes a different hypothesis: heatstroke. Polly highlights 3 key factors. First, Lee had undergone surgery to remove his underarm sweat glands for aesthetic reasons, which compromised his body's ability to regulate temperature, especially in Hong Kong's hot and humid climate. Second, Lee had previously suffered a heatstroke episode 10 weeks before his death while recording dialogue for Enter the Dragon. This incident, which led to his hospitalization with a cerebral edema, likely weakened his system. Third, on the day of his death, July 20, 1973, temperatures in Hong Kong reached 33.9 degrees Celsius (93 degrees Fahrenheit). Lee, suffering from a headache, took Equagesic, a medication containing aspirin and a tranquilizer, and rested under a heavy blanket in Betty Ting Pei's apartment. Polly argues that this combination, extreme heat, medication, and the blanket, created the conditions for a fatal heatstroke, masking symptoms and preventing Lee from reacting in time. An even darker theory surrounds Bruce Lee's death: the involvement of the Triads, Hong Kong's notorious organized crime syndicate. Some claim Lee incurred their wrath by challenging traditional martial arts norms and refusing to pay protection money for his film projects. His ambitions to expand to Hollywood also threatened their influence over him. A persistent rumor suggests the Triads may have used a technique called dim mak, or death touch, to eliminate him. This method, targeting specific pressure points, could cause internal damage, such as a cerebral edema. Evidence fueling this theory includes death threats Lee received, suspicious marks on his body, and his presence in Betty Ting Pei's apartment, who was rumored to have Triad connections. While unproven, these speculations continue to captivate the public imagination. Another unsettling aspect is the so-called Lee family curse. Rooted in Chinese folklore, this belief suggests a malevolent spirit targets the men of the Lee family, leading to their premature and often violent deaths. Bruce Lee, dead at 32, and his son Brandon, killed at 28 in a tragic accident on the set of The Crow in 1993, seem to lend credence to this idea. According to legend, the curse traces back to an ancestor, General Li Yan of the Tang dynasty, or another, Li Li, accused of treason during the Song dynasty. Bruce's parents, deeply superstitious, took measures to protect their son, nicknaming him Little Phoenix, and dressing him as a girl to deceive malevolent spirits. Despite these precautions, tragedy struck, fueling speculation about a supernatural force. Chuck Norris, profoundly affected by the loss of both Bruce and Brandon Lee, has paid tribute to their memory on numerous occasions. He considered Brandon a son, guiding him in his acting career and martial arts training. Brandon's accidental death, shot by a real bullet during the filming of The Crow, was a devastating blow to Norris, who expressed immense grief at his funeral. He described Bruce and Brandon as inspiring figures whose legacy continues to influence generations. So, what do we make of these revelations? Does Chuck Norris's account provide definitive answers, or does the mystery of Bruce Lee's death remain unresolved? Between cerebral edema, heat stroke, the triads, and the family curse, the truth seems ever elusive. What is certain is that Bruce Lee left an indelible legacy, not only as a martial artist and actor but also as a philosopher and symbol of empowerment. His friendship with Chuck Norris and their legendary collaboration in The Way of the Dragon remain testaments to their greatness. What are your thoughts? Do you believe Norris's revelations shed light on the mystery, or does the truth remain shrouded? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay tuned for our next videos. Thank you for joining us on Star Life, and we'll see you soon for another dive into the world of your favorite stars. Goodbye.